John Parker, you've been working with and studying the Resilience Alliance. Now, first of all, can you tell us what the Resilience Alliance is?
Yes, the Resilience Alliance in its original formation, the conference is a little bit different now because it's such a wide audience, there's a lot of people interested in resilience, is what in sociology we call a coherent group. So it's a small group of scientists that work together concertedly for change, to try and affect their discipline and to try and figure out how they can shape and move that discipline in new directions with new ideas, new methods, and really change the structure of science. Other groups you can think of like this is the phage group. They started molecular biology. You can also think about groups like the Skinnerians that started behavioral psychology. So there's usually about 3 of these groups every 30 years, so about 3 per generation that wind up being kind of the big movers and shakers in their own fields. And I think the field most broadly that the Resilience Alliance works in is sustainability science. And they've become one of the leaders in that field.
Okay. And so when you've looked at the development of the group and those around it, what have you found?
I think the most important thing that the Resilience Alliance has done is move from what we call small c, lowercase c creativity to big C creativity. So in your everyday life, you and I are creative sometimes. We come up with new ideas, new solutions, just in our everyday life. But they're not really consequential for other groups, for other people, for society at large. So the shift from small c creativity to big C creativity, creativity that really shapes and impacts a discipline or a field, if it's sports, politics, or science, is big C creativity. And what we've seen is that the Resilience Alliance, through the kinds of interactions they've had, by building this network, by, if you can look around, all the different people involved, all the different impacts they've had, all the different types of social interactions that they've facilitated, have entered into big C creativity and have really transformed the way people think about sustainability science and the way they think about social ecological systems. So they've grown as a network from about 8 people in the early 90s now to a conference of 850 people this time. And they've expanded the scope of their influence in very strategic ways, right? Through conferences, through organizations, through their own networking, and through developing new ideas together, through specific kinds of social processes, a lot of which are alike in coherent groups across time. So one of my interests is trying to understand what are those processes. Most of the time we look at these groups, like the Resilience Alliance, we look at them historically, and now for the first time we can be here and watch it happen in real time.
Okay. And what would you say are some of the challenges as we move ahead?
I think the most important challenge right now is to keep the novelty. If we look around, there's 850 people here, and everyone's using resilience. And so if someone's talking about resilience, you could ask the question, so what? It's here, it's arrived. It's no longer a big, splashy, flashy new idea. And so I think working within the resilience paradigm, but also pushing in new directions is absolutely key. If it's transformations, if it's looking at social ecological systems dynamics, it's really pushing forward in new directions that allow resilience to move in new ways and not get stuck in its traditional model so that it can continue to innovate and influence science in the future.
Thank you.